I would say that it is cheap to pick on Dom Lemon, but you know what? I kind of need the views right now, so let's go ahead and pick on Dom Lemon.
Election.
I'm going for Trump. I feel like every time they don't want somebody who is good for us to win, they throw somebody black in our face thinking that's going to like make us vote for the black person.
I voted for Obama because he was black. I don't want to vote for her because she's the first black woman to run for president or to win.
Now guys, really quick, this video right here is going to be released on a Friday. Obviously, I'm making this video on a Thursday night. And of course, Dom Lemon, who ever since he's been, let's just say, let go from CNN, of course, he was let go, according to them, because he said that Nikki Haley was too old. And of course, he basically said that women hit the wall. I'm not trying to imply anything. I'm just simply saying that Dom Lemon, for some odd reason, he got busted using something that, quite frankly, as conservatives always get accused of, especially as bigoted white males. But still, at the same time, it was obviously funny to see what is, for the most part, the dumbest man in America get fired from his job. I normally don't revel in stuff like that, but in the case of Dom Lemon, I obviously chose to, because obviously it's kind of fun to do, because it is Dom Lemon. But Dom Lemon has decided to take his talents to YouTube. You guys can roast me in the comment section for saying talents if you guys want to. It's fine with me. But still, at the same time, though, that's what he does now. He's basically taking his talents to YouTube. And, of course, he's going to be putting everything that he records on YouTube from now on, because now he's just a good old-fashioned vlogger, kind of like myself. So, therefore, Dom is not that different than me. Except, obviously, I'm smarter than he is. But still, though, at the same time, though, he decided to do one of those man on the street segments. He actually did two of them, one in Cincinnati, and he did the other one in, I want to say it was New Jersey, Atlantic City. Now, guys, before I show you guys any of this stuff, before I show you guys the reactions that he got, or how it was that he was baffled and he was stunned to see people of color, especially black girls and young women as a whole, not too thrilled about voting for Kamala, and even some people he quite frankly would not expect to be Trump voters, I need you guys to please cut on the notifications for this channel, so that way you guys notified when videos come out. Go to your phones, go ahead and do that. Please hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you guys are not subscribed. I welcome everybody here, all opinions. I'll entertain everybody, but just as long as you keep it professional. I want you guys to stick around. Also, we need to do that to help beat the censorship. Small YouTube channels are getting crushed the most, and I guess mine is one of the newest ones to get hit, even though it's always been hit by censorship. But still, at the same time, though, I'm not here to complain. I'm here to talk about Dom Lemon, and Dom Lemon being completely out of touch with those who are black. Being people with slightly more melanin in their skin, yeah, that type of thing there. But of course, Dom Lemon wasn't like, how do I say, he wasn't always this bad as far as being a left-wing liberal. There's that famous segment where he basically told people of color, black people, to put the to pull their pants up, clean up their neighborhoods, stuff like that. You know, this one here.
Because black people, if you really want to fix the problem, here's just 5 things that you should think about doing. Here's number 5. And if this doesn't apply to you, if you're not doing this, then it doesn't apply to you. I'm not talking about you. Here's number 5. Pull up your pants. Some people, a lot of them black, gave me flack for saying that recently on the Wendy Williams show. If you're sagging, it means, I think it's your self-esteem is sagging, and who you are as a person, it's sagging. Young people need to be taught respect, and there are rules. Sagging pants, whether it's Justin Bieber or no-name Derek around the way, walking around with your ass and your underwear showing is not okay. In fact, it comes from prison when they take away belts from the prisoner so that they can't make a weapon. And then it evolved into which role a prisoner would have during male-on-male prison sex. The one with the really low pants is a submissive one.
Basically what I'm saying is Dom Lemon has not always been this dumb. Of course, we call him Don Lemon. Sometimes we call him Don Lemon. But still, though, you guys kind of get the point. And, of course, seeing how it is that this year's Democratic National Convention has a certain theme, which, of course, is to talk about beta males. Of course, we'll talk about that in video number 2. And exactly what this DNC was really and truly all about. It's now time to put our focuses in on Mr. Lemon. So Mr. Lemon did a man on the street segment. And this right here is some of what he got.
I'm running for Trump, so.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why?
Yeah. I don't know. I just always been a fan of his, so that's what I'm running for.
I used to be against Trump. I used to live in Virginia. I saw the bad side of it, but really moving to Cleveland, I saw the other side of it.
I'm supporting Trump.
You are.
Mm-hmm.
Because?
Because it has to change.
Yeah.
It has to change, and now I vote more for what fits me better as a person, rather than voting for the black person or voting for the first woman. So
What do you think about Kamala Harris?
I think they say she phony and fake, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, I'm like Trump saying, you know, what are you, you know? So I'm not feeling her. People get mad about it, I'm just not feeling her.
I don't like her the way she speaks, the giddiness, the laughing. Everything's a joke, and it's not a joke. We're in trouble.
I'm going for Trump. Kamala was on Biden's team, and I don't like Biden. Gas wasn't this high when Trump was our president. Food wasn't this high. I'm going for Trump.
Shocked to see black people saying, no, we're not all that thrilled about Kamala Harris. Shocked to see black people saying, you know what, I think I'm going to rock with Trump this time around. Also, something else, too, there was this nice little segment there, and there's a nice little segment here that you guys are going to see here soon where Lemon decides to tell somebody that it's not true that they're suffering under the current administration, which, by the way, the current Democratic Party nominee tries to go out of her way to let us know that she's not a part of said administration when obviously everybody knows that she is. We'll get to that here in a second. That right there was the Cincinnati bit that you guys saw. But here's the thing, though. I think that a lot of people are not just thinking about, oh, what is it, the inflation. They're not just thinking about the fact that their money doesn't get to go as far. They're not just thinking about the fact that they've got, well, what is it, the possibility of World War III on the horizon. They've also got other things to worry about, like, for example, in the city of Chicago, where the Democratic National Convention is being held. And, of course, the stuff you guys will see here, the B-roll footage, was from night number 1. Trust me, it's probably going to get dicey on night number 4. And don't worry, we'll get to that video for tomorrow. But the thing is this right here. People who live in these big cities, especially people of color, they got to deal with crap like this here.
Looking for the person who shot and killed a man in the city's West Garfield Park neighborhood. Officers say they found a 28-year-old man suffering multiple gunshot wounds in the 3900 block of West Madison at around 3 this afternoon. The victim was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital in critical condition and died a short time later. A handgun was recovered from the scene.
Oh, I'm not done. There's also one more.
Are looking for these 3 men. They say the trio is involved in a homicide in Albany Park. Surveillance video caught them before and after a shooting in May. The men were also seen driving a Honda SUV. Police say the 3 men shot 2 other men in the head. Both Jamie Serrano and Victor Rodriguez were left in an alley near Leland and Kedzie, and both died at the scene. Anyone with information on those shooters is asked to call police.
There's also not only the crime, not only that there, but there's also this new one that just came out. They just dropped right before I decided to start recording. Let's look at this one.
To the convention from the city's southwest side tonight, a mass shooting.
We're hearing as many as 6 people have been shot. Our Charlie DeMar is live and back in the yards tonight. Charlie?
And Joe and Erica, just in the last few minutes, we have been able to confirm 6 people were shot here near 51st and Ashland. 1 person is dead. Still an active crime scene. You can still see CPD is here. But in the middle of this crime scene is this yellow taco truck. I had the opportunity to speak to one of the employees in there, Yolanda Torres. She said she was serving customers when those shots started, and she immediately hit the floor of the taco truck until those shots stopped.
Another one of those drive-bys. Yes, another one of those drive-bys. But, of course, the main thing we need to worry about, of course, in the country is gender-affirming bathrooms. Yeah, I caught this in my hair earlier. This was a photo that was put up on Twitter. I figured I would add it in for the purposes of this video here. But, of course, Dom Lemon would continue to get smacked by these people left and right. And, of course, we're going to watch some more of it right now. Wow. 7 people shot. 7 people shot in Chicago. Another one of those communities of color. Do you think that maybe what the media says every day, personalities like Don Lemon, what they tell people to think, what to believe, do you think maybe it's possible that these people that you guys are seeing, once again, the B-roll footage, we'll get back to here in a second, did you think maybe it's possible, just the slightest bit possible, that these people are seeing a different reality than what's being pitched to them on television? I'm just curious, because obviously there are people out there who are not exactly interested in supporting the Democratic Party nominee, because they've obviously seen their life get a lot worse under Democratic Party rule. By the way, they want to keep using that whole shtick, crime got worse under Trump bit. Don't worry, we'll have a video on that at a later date, probably a video essay, because it's actually much more complicated than what the media wants to say, but also at the same time, also easily debunked. But seeing how it is that we saw one bit of that news report, let's go ahead and watch the rest.
And according to a preliminary police report, 6 people were shot, again here near 51st and Ashland in the back of the Yards neighborhood. The bulk of the shell casings could be seen at the corner. We are told that a 46-year-old man is dead. Witnesses tell police they saw at least 2 people running away from the scene. The ages of the victims ranging in age from 39 to 46. Police also telling us that one of the victims was simply driving by and he was caught in the gunfire. His condition last listed in good condition. All of the other victims, the 5 people who survived this mass shooting, taken to area hospitals in a wide ranging of conditions. We're live tonight in the back of the Yards neighborhood. I'm Charlie DeMar, CBS News Chicago.
Drive-by shooting. These things are becoming more and more frequent, and maybe people of color are getting tired of this. Maybe people of color, of course, like I said before, are starting to wake up and starting to realize that Democratic Party policies have slowly but surely been killing them. As a matter of fact, slowly but surely is maybe not the best phrase. I think maybe systematically is probably the better phrase. But there is one more thing that is obviously bugging said community, said race, that we'll get to in the second half of this video. But once again, this is a video that for the most part focuses in on roasting Don Lemon. I mean, look, I think it's amazing how it is that Don Lemon finally got outside of his bubble and actually began to talk to real people, especially people of color. And he started to see that there's a lot of people out there who don't exactly think like him. But once again, though, here we are talking about the crime in the city of Chicago. This one right here was taken in Atlantic City.
Atlantic City. Who do you support? I plead the fifth.
Trump for the win.
Tell me why.
I can't really call that right now, but I just feel like she's not good for president. She's good vice, but not for the actual lead role for the country.
Does it have anything to do with being a woman?
No. No, because I feel like women, nah, you're not going to give me that.
Your money's on Harris.
Yeah.
Who do you want?
Trump.
Why don't you like Harris?
She doesn't have any experience.
She's the vice president. She's a senator.
Yeah, no experience. No. She has no experience.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I just feel we need somebody that has a stronger background with the military and the world in general.
She was a prosecutor and attorney general and a senator and a vice president. You're in a gambling town. Who's your money on?
I'm going to support the Democratic Party, but, Trump looks like he got it in the bag right now.
4 years ago, it was a lot better. I made a lot more money than I do now.
I know you feel that way, but that's not actually what the record shows. The economy is actually better under Biden. No, I'm serious. That's what the facts show.
CNN?
Okay, you know what?
No, that's not because I watch CNN. Trump or Harris?
Trump.
That's who's going to win.
That's who's going to win.
Who you support?
I support Trump. All the people that came to this country legally, it's not fair that they're letting all 10,000 to 15,000 people or 20,000 people here illegally. Have you seen San Diego? Yeah. They're coming off the boats, off the water right here, off the ocean. Did you know Biden was flying them in?
Good minute and 30 seconds. Now, let me ask you guys a question. It's not just the economy. It's not just inflation that's through the roof. It's a lot of other things. We just talked about crime a second ago, especially crime in the city of Chicago. It's like that in every major metropolitan area right now in the United States, even those ones that are in red states that people love to remind us about, which, of course, there are blue cities inside red states. For example, a city like, say, St. Louis or New Orleans, which of course, one is in Louisiana, the other one is in Missouri. But, of course, they love to tell us that's actually a red state problem, and then they turn right back around and say, well, you need gun control. Fact of the matter is this right here. People don't like being lectured by people from outside the community, and also to go on top of that, they don't like being lectured about their lives with talking heads on television. It's not reality. It used to be at one point in time, we used to look at it and say it's nothing more than a great big giant show, which, by the way, for the most part, it kind of sort of is. However, these right here are real people who are dealing with real problems. And, of course, Don Lemon, of course, is now finding out the hard way that not everybody in the world thinks like him. But there was one more issue that actually connects to it all that's happening right now. And, of course, it's an issue that I've been talking about for over the past year. Now, guys, the Democratic National Convention, once again, is being held in the city of Chicago. Okay, the first day it looked a lot like what it looked like in 1968. Of course, there's also been protests, which, of course, we'll cover a little bit more tomorrow in the overall ending review of the convention itself, because obviously I've got some stuff to talk about that will also be in the follow-up video of this one right here. But here's the thing that's really been bugging people, especially people of color, and that right there has been the migrant crisis. Do you guys remember a while back in the city of Chicago, you had some angry residents on the west side of Chicago and the south side of Chicago who were pissed off about the fact that the city of Chicago had squandered $2.2 billion in overall funds that were being given to the migrants being used to house them because Chicago is the sanctuary city, and some people, people with much more melanated skin than mine, they were beginning to understand, they were beginning to see that maybe they're being replaced, maybe squeezed on, maybe, I don't know, let's go back in time and look at it.
Homeowners are angry. They believe the city has overextended itself and should be putting the tens of millions of dollars earmarked for migrants into Chicago's most vulnerable neighborhoods.
But the South Side has been under-resourced, underfunded for years, for decades. We have schools that need to be reopened. We have buildings that are abandoned that need to be business operated.
The group says the city has abandoned its Invest Southwest initiative, a Lightfoot-era program that was dedicated to reversing decades of disinvestment on Chicago's South and West sides, promising to align more than $2.2 billion through public and private.
Public and private funds, people. Black schools, black jobs, black neighborhoods. Of course, people get offended if you say black jobs. What I mean by black jobs are obviously jobs that, for the most part, only black people can kind of get because, of course, as many of you people know, most people of color live in very bad socioeconomic places. Like, for example, the city of Chicago. They keep trying to gentrify a lot of these neighborhoods, but then you turn right back around and look at the actual black neighborhood itself, and you see a bunch of migrants being bussed in there. It makes you wonder exactly what's going to happen to the jobs. They're taking up a lot of space, taking up a lot of money, and the situation's only gotten worse and worse and worse. And, of course, they're also seeing their jobs leave as well because a lot of these jobs are being given to migrants as well as the debit cards, which we talked about in the previous video. That right there's a New York City situation, but also to go on top of that, there's also a situation for the city of Chicago itself because they have a weakling as a mayor, Brandon Johnson. But let's watch the rest of that news report because, as you guys will see right here in a second, people have been pissed off about this for a while.
$2 billion through public and private funding.
We are taxpayers, we're property owners. Our money should go towards fixing our communities.
The city has received more than 15,000 migrants since August 2022.
We have no more room. Y'all are embarrassing Chicago as a whole.
According to analysis by the ABC7 data team, there are more than 20 active migrant shelters across the city, 7 located on the south and west sides.
Whether it's one shelter or whether it's 10 shelters, we're saying the facilities that are there for us, the money needs to be put into those facilities for us.
In a statement from the mayor's office about the group's concerns and the status of Invest Southwest, a spokesperson says in part, quote, "We are committed to continued investment for all residents, but especially communities on the south and west sides that have long experienced disinvestment. We are the city of Chicago, and our shoulders are big enough to support both new arrivals and those who have
Johnson, the black aldermen, the black alderwomen in this city, you will stand for the black citizens of Chicago."
There's one more thing that I think a lot of people are forgetting about, especially with these drive-bys and, of course, also with the situation that happened in Denver the other day with the migrant gangs, the Venezuelan gangs. Chicago has had their issue with that as well. The city of Chicago has also had issues with not just migrants going inside the schools, but also migrant crime as a whole. To the people that he's now having a conversation with, because at any other point in time in his life, he probably never would want to have a conversation with any of these people. But still, though, the fact of the matter is this right here. The reality that's presented to people on television is not the reality of what people are dealing with on an everyday basis. Look, I mentioned the migrant crisis just now. I mentioned the shootings in Chicago. The security issue is a problem. That's $2.2 billion that could be put towards, I don't know, maybe help restoring these communities. Look, I understand the whole notion of you get what you vote for. I say it all the time on this channel, especially when it comes to the topic of the immigration crisis, especially when it comes to people of color, because as they're starting to see, they are being replaced, especially when it comes to the voter pool, because Democrats now have a new voter base that they want to pander to. The fact of the matter is this right here. The Democrats have been trying to get rid of these people for a while, and it does kind of amaze me to see Don Lemon just now figuring out that people aren't exactly okay with Kamala Harris as president, that maybe they might prefer, I don't know, the Cheeto guy. Maybe they prefer him. Maybe they prefer Trump. I just figured, look, there's no way in hell somebody can be this dumb. But then again, though, it is Don Lemon that we're talking about here. Same guy, if you guys remember, thought he saw a black hole.
Terrorism or mechanical failure or pilot error, but what if it was something fully that we don't really understand? A lot of people have been asking about black holes and on and on and on and all of these conspiracy theories. Let's look at this. Noah says, what else can you think about? Black hole, Bermuda Triangle. And then Deji says, just like the movie Lost. And of course, they're also referencing the Twilight Zone, which has a very similar plot. That's what people are saying. I know it's preposterous, but is it preposterous, you think, Mary?
Well, it is. A black hole is about, a small black hole would suck in our entire universe, so we know it's not that. Bermuda Triangle is often weather.
So, yeah, it's kind of hilarious to see a guy like Don Lemon be absolutely stunned that there are people out there who actually have serious issues and have serious concerns, and yet they don't agree with a single thing that Don Lemon says. I mean, there's also that one segment where Don said that it's not true that you're hurting right now, yet the CBO or the I think it's Fred, they actually put up a chart about this showing Americans, the average net income, or exactly how much money Americans were making then or how far their money went compared to what it was under the Biden administration or what it currently is. The fact of the matter is that people are not falling for the gaslighting, and that's a good thing. And like I said before, it's always hilarious to see someone like Don Lemon get stumped. But you guys tell me what you think in the comment section. Now, real quick, this right here is not going to be the only video. I'm putting this video out at roughly 12 o'clock. And, of course, the video on the DNC itself, an overall review of it, that right there will be out at about 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It'll be the last video that I do before the weekend. There is one video that I do want to put out this weekend about what happened with the Acolyte. Kind of more and more proof of Hollywood going or Disney going in a direction. And we'll have a conversation about that this weekend, probably a shorter video. And there is one more video that I hope to do about asking the question, what is, well, I'm going to save it for Sunday, okay? Next week is going to be a pretty big week for me. I've got to have surgery on Friday. I'm not going to be around here on Thursday or Friday. Probably won't be here on Saturday. So Labor Day weekend, you guys may not see me for a few days. I don't know if I'm going to have any specialty videos out or not. I've been kind of swamped. And, of course, dealing with everything around that, it's been a little bit tough to try to get content out like I want to. Still, though, guys, please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sign off in the comment section, and I shall see you guys later.